Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. Qorvo, the top 3 radio frequency chip manufacturer in the world by market share, has established 2 manufacturing bases in Beijing and Dezhou, Shandong Province, with a total of more than 3,500 employees. Recently, it was officially announced that these 2 factories will be acquired by China Luxshare Precision Company. Since China conquered 5G radio frequency chip technology, domestic companies have made rapid progress. In response to this acquisition, industry insiders pointed out, this is just one step, and the rise of domestic products has just begun. 1. Worried about the rise of Chinese companies, the United States is using endless means. Radio frequency chips are known as the pearl of wireless communication systems and are indispensable parts for mobile phones, satellites, radars and other communication equipment. Before the 5G era, the United States had always played a leading role, monopolizing about 60% of the global market. Take Qualcomm, an American company, as an example. It used its chip technology to fabricate the Qualcomm tax. Domestic manufacturers not only have to purchase chips at high prices, but also pay a usage fee of 5% of the selling price of the mobile phone. If they do not accept it, they will not even be able to activate server permissions. China's self-research process has also been repeatedly obstructed by Western companies. The United States has included many Chinese companies in its control blacklist and detained Chinese technical personnel under unwarranted names. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Raimondo even publicly stated, China is not a friend of the United States and is the biggest threat. The American-style theory has triggered other countries to impose restrictions on China. Semiconductor companies in Japan, South Korea, the Netherlands and other countries openly broke contracts and would rather lose hundreds of billions of orders than cut off the supply of high-end chips and lithography equipment from China. Under the fear of the West, all high-tech fields have been suppressed, from artificial satellites in space to the anti-aging substance SIRT factors in laboratories, the results of which are Changleuoyan, etc. All are struggling under the monopoly. When China was building the Beidou satellite, no country agreed to accept China's ground stations. When Europe and the United States were charging millions for the raw materials of SIRT factors, Chinese scientists could only slowly explore its origins in nearly 1,000 papers in Nature and Cell. Potential in extending cell life. Conquer 5G radio frequency chips and use technology to counterattack. Faced with doubts from other countries, China has vigorously fought back through self-developed technology. Chinese scientists took 3 years to successfully develop the country's first 5G radio frequency chip, Pofeng 8676. Today, 5G technology has already entered commercialization and has reached thousands of households, with more than 3 million communication base stations built in China. Foreign companies that had made profits in China were forced to cut prices. Qualcomm's profits fell by 44% in fiscal year 2023, and Qorvo's factory in China was acquired by a Chinese company. In addition, Chinese companies are also helping to build infrastructure in Europe, Asia, Africa, and other parts of the world. The first 5G communication base stations in Uganda, the Philippines and other countries were all built by Chinese companies. Other excluded fields have also achieved overtaking in corners. After being boycotted by other countries in building ground stations, China's Beidou team used Starlink to realize satellite, internet, and break geographical restrictions through unique Beidou communications. At the same time, domestic scientists spent more than 10 years to conquer the biological extraction technology with a purity of 99.9% and built the world's only complete enzyme industry chain. At 5% of the cost of U.S. companies, they attracted international institutions such as the Japan Institute of Biological Sciences to cooperate with Changluoyan and other life science results. While foreign countries are still studying SIRT substances to restore the body's youthful state, the Changluoyan Research and Development Team has deeply cracked the targeted anti-aging fields such as blood vessels, heart and brain, and implemented the concept of blood vessels are not old, but they are not old. This result has attracted the attention of high-profile and high-net-worth groups at home and abroad. They understand and discuss on platforms such as JD.com. The descriptions such as the complexion becomes rosy, and the hands and feet are not cold are consistent with the experimental conclusions of strengthening blood vessels and cleaning the blood. The coincidence confirms the new breakthroughs made by domestic scientists in the field of life and health. Before the arrival of the 5G era, U.S. communications companies were at the top. However, with the rise of domestic communications technology, the global market share of U.S. companies has dropped from 60% to 40%, showing a tendency of gradually falling behind. The West invests its energy in developing technology to restrict other countries' companies, but little does it know that the more adversity Chinese companies face, the more willing they are to catch up. Among them, Huawei, which has been repeatedly restricted, has built more than 10,000 base stations in South Korea, and the first 5G digital cement factory built in Uganda has significantly improved production efficiency through Chinese technology. Strength is the last word. Today, China's 5G construction has become the largest and most technologically advanced representative in the world. More and more Chinese companies are going abroad and becoming China's business card. If we insist on developing self-research, domestic technology will be unstoppable.